Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be my June favorites. Y'all, I don't think I've done a favorites video all year. Or if I haven't done but like one. But I mean, up until like a couple of months ago, I really hadn't been picking anything up or really like super duper excited about anything. But for whatever reason, over like the last 2 months, I've been going way too ham in Sephora and Ulta and the drugstore and online. And so I have a bunch of things that I have been loving. A lot of this was in like my most recent haul, but I've had these things for a little bit longer than just like, you know, a week or so ago. But let's get into it because it's going to be a long one. I'm just going to talk about a few brushes. This is a dupe for the NARS Ita brush. It's funny because it actually says NARS on it. But I bought it off of Amazon for about $3, I believe, because I wanted to try it out. And I used it today and I really loved it because it's much softer than I thought it was going to be. A lot of brushes like this are kind of like a lot more dense and they kind of just like streak the color on like really intensely. But this one's so soft and kind of like fluffy that you can get that really precise contour, but you can blend it out really nicely if you go a little too heavy handed, and it was only $3. I've never tried the NARS Ita brush, but for $3, I love this. Okay, next is this powder brush from Tarte. I got this in my Gym Beauty goodie bag, and I love it. I think it's for powder, but I've been using it for my foundation because it's so big, it just applies foundation very quickly. And it's so densely packed, you get like, it blends it out without shearing it out. So I've been loving this brush. And then lastly, I'm just gonna talk about this Sigma Flat Definer E15 brush. This is awesome. So normally I don't really wear a lot of color on the lower lash line. I just feel like every time I go to like smudge it out, it kind of just flicks the color into my eye. You know, if you wear contacts, that anytime something gets in your eye, like it's like a grain of salt. So I wanted to try this just to see if it would do something different, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's flat and it's not rounded like a lot of my other smudge brushes, but this one just packs on the color and blends it out really nicely without actually like shooting any of the eyeshadow like into my eye. So love this brush. You could also use it to like clean up your brows. You could probably use it to do like some crease work, some inner corner work if you wanted to. Okay, so speaking of brows, I have been loving this Anastasia Beverly Hills Highlighting Duo Pencil. This is in the color Matte Shell and Lace Shimmer. It's like the more warm tone version of the two that they have. So I will swatch the matte side and the shimmer side. But I like that it comes in a stick form. It makes it really simple to like clean up your brows without having to bust out, you know, a concealer and like carve it out and then brush it down with a brush. You can just draw this on and like blend it out with your finger if you want. And these are the two colors here on the bottom. So you have the matte shade here and then the shimmer shade. I also like that the shimmer shade isn't like too much of a sparkle. It's kind of just like a nice sheen, and they blend out to a really pretty like powder finish. And I actually just kind of go underneath the entire brow with the matte part, and then right underneath the highest part of my arch, I'll do like the shimmer if I just want like something extra. So next are the Cover FX custom cover drops. I have finished up my shade in like G60 plus. I got G70 because I've been getting a little bit darker here, and love these. Like when I ran out of the 60 plus or whatever, I wasn't really using anything, kind of forgot like how much I liked it. And then when I started using these again, I was like, yes, thank you. If you have a favorite foundation that doesn't give you the coverage that you want, pick these up and use these. You can use them in your moisturizer. If you want like a tinted moisturizer, you can use them with your concealer. You can use them with an oil. If you have like dry skin and you want more of a glow, you can use them with your highlighter. You can use them with your foundation to give you like super duper full coverage without changing the texture, changing really the properties of that foundation. Because, you know, sometimes you like the way a foundation applies, you love the color, you like, you know, the look that it gives you, but it doesn't have enough coverage. And this is what I use when I have, you know, something like that going on. And then next I have 3 foundations to talk about. I think I want to do like a favorite drugstore foundations and a favorite high-end foundation. So if you would like to see a video like that, then let me know in the description box. First, I am completely shocked by this one. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. I had steered away from this for so long because glow scares me when it comes to anything other than like a powder, because I get really oily. So I was worried I was gonna try a glowy foundation and it would make me look like a oil slick. But I had seen so many people talk about this. I was like, I'm just gonna pick it up. If anything, I can just mix it with like those Cover FX blot drops or the Pro Matte and maybe it'll work. So I got the color 210, which is classic tan. I feel like it has better coverage than the Pro Matte, but it doesn't leave me like oily throughout the day. I work really long hours. I wore this at work and for all 12 hours and I didn't look like disgusting. I mean, I do have to blot maybe like 5-6 hours in or whatever. I start getting a little too shiny for my liking, but coverage is great. It definitely gives you a radiant finish. I don't think it's like a straight up dewy finish whatsoever. It's supposed to be great for normal to dry skin, very hydrating. So next I have two Becca foundations. These are like the most expensive foundations I own, but I wanted to try the Evermatte Shine Proof foundation. I got the color Bamboo. So this is supposed to be an unmatched matte finish. It has medium coverage and it absorbs the oil to keep your complexion fresh and shine free throughout the day. So it's for normal to oily skin. I love this foundation. If you want to talk about something keeping you matte, I would say this is definitely one of my like favorites ever. The how long it keeps you matte is like ridiculous. I would say like at least like 7 hours, like without needing to touch up whatsoever. My only qualm about this, and I mean it does say it on the back, is that the coverage isn't quite where I want it to be. So it says it's medium coverage. It is medium coverage. So I would go in with like the Cover FX custom cover drops, dip that in there, give me more coverage without changing the texture of this. But if you get really oily in the summer and you want something matte and you want to try something different, definitely pick up the Becca Evermatte Shine Proof foundation. And the other Becca foundation that I have here is the Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream. I got this in the shade Bamboo as well. However, I will say this one seems a little bit darker than the Evermatte. Weird. However, this right here, y'all, when you want to talk about full coverage, this has got to be one of the fullest coverage foundations that I've ever tried. And for me, that says a lot, because a lot of times I feel that people that have very few like visible skin issues will talk about something being full coverage, and I'm like, nah honey, that ain't gonna cover, that's not gonna cover none of these like dark marks that I got going on. But this right here, this is good coverage. It is a thicker cream, so if you don't like thicker foundations and you might not like this one, it doesn't keep me matte nearly as long as the Evermatte, but it's not for that. It's just to cover, and you set it and it looks beautiful on the skin. Okay, so next is a tried and true oldie, and this is L'Oreal's True Match Concealer. I use the color light medium W45. I could probably go down darker to like W678, but that one's really hard to find in store. It's very creamy, and it covers really well. It blends out beautifully. It's amazing. It comes in, I can't talk enough about L'Oreal True Match products. If you've never tried like the powder, the concealer, the foundation, I don't know what you've been doing with your life, because the True Match line comes in 3 different undertones. There's warm, cool, and neutral, and then there are like, you know, 40 different shades of foundation. There's like 15-20 different colors of powders. There's like at least like, you know, 10 or 12 different concealers, so you can find something that will work for you. But this is a great drugstore concealer. I think it's like maybe $7-8 or so, but definitely try this out. Okay, so next I want to talk about the Sephora Bright Future Color Corrector Concealer. Well, color corrector. So this is in the darkest shade I think they carry, which is 05 Melon Medium. I was gonna try to get the shade that's before this one, but it's like sold out everywhere. It's sold out in my Sephora, it's sold out online, so it's kind of hard to get your hands on. But right now, since I have a little bit of a tan, this works fine. One thing I hate about it is this stupid tail little applicator. This is, I mean, okay, so you see how it's round on the end there? It really doesn't pull out as much product as I would like to. So you know how like a doe foot, you pull it out and all the product's like right there on the flat part? Well, this is like right on the end. So I kind of just have to like dot it because it doesn't really pull out much product on the side. That's my only gripe about it. But it definitely neutralizes very well. So melon neutralizes purple. So I have a little bit of like purple-ish underneath my eyes there. And sometimes when I go in with just straight concealer, you can still kind of see the shadow, and the corrector kind of just takes away the shadow, and then you just use the concealer to like brighten up underneath there. So I've been loving that. And I have two powders to talk about. So this is the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I actually like it mixed with my Midnight Banana powder. So I've taken what was left of my Midnight Banana powder, mixed the two of them together so it has more of a yellowish tint. But this right here is pretty darn good mixed together. I actually have been loving it kind of like faux baking, I want to say. Normally I would just go in with like a brush and sweep it underneath my eyes. So I like to go in with my beauty blender, just dab it underneath the eyes there and then brush it with the excess, and it's amazing. I've kind of been setting like my whole face like that almost sometimes when I want like a really like polished look. And then next I have the Kat Von D Lock It Powder Foundation in the shade Deep 74. So this powder has amazing coverage. It's very lightweight. It blends beautifully, and I just am obsessed with it. It's like becoming my, like it's inching its way up there to like Holy Grail powder status. So definitely keeps you matte, locks in your makeup. Okay, next I'm just gonna talk about this little bad boy here. This is the Velour Lashes little lash applicator. So if you have trouble putting on false eyelashes, I would maybe see if you can find one of these. I like to apply them with tweezers because I find that it's more simple than trying to apply it with my fingers. This one is great because it has like slanted little fingers on the side there. So it makes it easy to grip the lash and then apply it to your eye because it's curved down there like your eye is. So you can get like right there and apply the lash right to like the base of the lashes there. And it also has this little comb on the end, I guess if you want to comb out, you know, any mascara clumps or blend your lashes with the others. But I love it. So next I'm going to talk about the Hard Candy Eyeshadow Primer. This is the Eyes the Limit Eyeshadow Primer. Love this. I kind of just went in grabbing one because I wanted a new drugstore one to try. I feel like there aren't very many eyeshadow primers from the drugstore out there, but this one is great. Hard Candy products are very inexpensive. This may have been like $5 or $6, but it's very similar to Urban Decay's Primer Potion. And I feel like Hard Candy, like, weren't they owned by Urban Decay or still are, or something like sister company? I don't know, something like that. But it comes out in like a thick beige color that kind of just blends out with that kind of silicone feel to it. A lot of times these little squeezy tube type eyeshadow primers will squeeze out like oil when you first go to squeeze it out, but this one doesn't do that whatsoever. And it's a great like base for underneath your eyeshadows. If you have trouble with your eyeshadows creasing or not lasting very long or not showing up as vibrantly, then definitely check out an eye primer. So next are a bunch of palettes that I picked up recently. 3 of these I showed in a haul, my last haul that was ginormous, but this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Y'all, I feel like I've read that this was permanent, so yes to that, but you gotta pick this up. If you're looking for a new palette, definitely pick this one up. It has amazing colors for summer in it. They're just like really warm, peachy pinks and browns in there. Majority of them are matte. It looks like, I think 3 of them kind of have some type of like little shimmer to them, and it comes with a brush. And I think this is about like $45, something like under, right around like 50 or so, but definitely worth the investment. Okay, next is this Laura Lee Violet Voss palette, which I don't know if anybody, I don't know how many people have talked about it, but I've been loving it. It has 20 eyeshadows in it. So 10 of them have a shimmer finish, and then the other 10 are just straight matte, but they literally have like every color you would need. I feel like you always need like a matte black. You always need like a neutral kind of skin tone color. And this one has a warm undertone to it. So I love that. And then there's so many awesome brown shades that'll work for a variation of the skin tones as far as like transition shades. Like there are these 3 that are up here, and then there are these 3 down here, and then she has these like insane like duochrome colors, like Yoshi and Laura Lee have these like really beautiful duochrome undertones to them, and I just love these like bronzy glittery shades. And there's that fun green and like a bright yellow gold shade there too. So I would definitely Try to get your hands on this if you can, if it's not sold out. I might have picked up an extra one for a giveaway. I'm just saying. I might have. Okay, so next is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in Sun Dipped. Whew, y'all. I really kind of wasn't expecting to like this as much as I did. It's definitely worth the $40 because you get 40. It's worth the $40 because you get 4 highlighters, which these are beautiful. So they're mostly warm, but there's a little bit of a cool undertone on just like a couple of them. And that's them there. So pretty. So the last palette that I'm going to talk about, I hadn't even planned on getting. And then when it came back in stock, I was like, it's limited edition. I might as well get it because I'm probably going to regret it if I don't get it. And it's the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop palette, face palette or whatever. First of all, can we talk about the packaging? Because this thing right here is like insanely beautiful. It's very like weighted as well, but the white and the gold is so pretty. And it has a ginormous mirror right here. And then it comes with 3 blushes and 2 highlighters. So I already own Champagne Pop, which is this one right here. But this is Prosecco Pop, which is a beautiful gold. And then there's a shimmery blush right here and then 2 matte blushes there. And I love that the blushes are colors that I would go to anyway. Like a beautiful coral and then a really nice like bronze kind of deep rose shade. And then there's this one right here, which is like a shimmery peach. So this palette screams summer for me. I think it has sold out on Sephora.com, but if you can find it in your local Sephora, grab it because it's great. Okay, this video is like way too long. This is what happens when you buy so much stuff. Okay, and last I'm just gonna talk about a few lip products. So I think I have a new favorite nude lip liner. It is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil in Uptight. I am wearing it underneath these other 3 or 4 lip colors I have here, but it's a beautiful warm nude shade. It's really, I mean, it's perfect for my skin tone. So that's it right there. Love these pencils because they don't budge. They're very creamy, they don't tug on the lips, and they're going to last for a really long time. I also picked up Bang, which is a blood orange color. This is like my favorite type of color to wear, especially during like the summer, and that's it right there. And of course, to go with Bang, I also got the matching lipstick in Bang, and whew, this right here is just like summer in a tube. So that's the lipstick right there. It just goes on so creamy and just glides on so smooth, and it's so pigmented. And then next is NYX's Smoky Look Lip Gloss. If you're looking for just a cream, beigey, peachy, nude lip gloss, then this is definitely one to check out. NYX's lip glosses smell like Tootsie Pops, which I don't really like because it has that cherry scent to it, but it's so pretty. I mean, it's not like the most pigmented thing, but I love just wearing it by itself. I love putting it over like any gloss. That's the swatch of it right there, if you can see it. And then lastly, I'm just gonna talk about these 2 Anastasia products. So this is Ashton liquid lipstick, which is described as like a yellow tone brown beige. And that's the swatch of it right there. It's so pretty. It's just a really nice, like My Lips but better color. And then next is the Orchid lip gloss, and that is a swatch of it right there. So I can't explain to you how freaking pretty this lip gloss is. I love purples that have a pink undertone because it makes them a little bit more wearable, and the pigmentation of this is like insane. It has just the right amount of like tack to it where it lasts, but it's not like, you know, cement between your lips when you press your lips together or whatever. So here we are 20 minutes later. That is the end of my favorites video. If you want to see reviews or looks with anything, just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much as always for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.